talk about briefly the events in Tunisia, but mainly Egypt, which is where the center of all of this activity is going on right now. This shows that revolutions actually do happen and revolutions are possible. It's also really impressive how they're spreading internationally. Like, what's happening in Tunisia has fed into Egypt. What's happening in Egypt is feeding into other countries. And it can quite quickly spread. When people see, wow, they're able to do that over here, why can't we do that? That's what I've always dreamt of. You know, why don't we actually do it? And it's very impressive how these things can really spread very suddenly, very rapidly.
My name is Gene Marks. I'm with Veterans for Peace. I'm on their national board. I'm the communications coordinator for the local chapter, Chapter 111 here in Bellingham. And I'm a Vietnam vet. Well, I was involved with, and I can speak for myself, I was involved for years. My wife was the same way. We were involved with lobbying through our congressional representatives. So we've made a point to visit Rick Larson here in town, our congressperson, who's a domestic liberal, a foreign policy hawk. We visited Cantwell's office, Senator Cantwell, Senator Murray, and we don't feel that we are the type of people they listen to. The only thing left to us is resisting. The only thing left that would make a difference, that would seem to slow down at least portions of the machine, is to get arrested, to resist non-violently on the streets. As long as you send the message that these people are not going to leave the streets, they're willing to get arrested. I mean, look what happened in Egypt. I mean, those people put their lives on the line. And what, over 300 of them died to get rid of a despot. So it does make a difference. Arrest makes a difference.
Wow. Yeah, here it is. I don't know if you can see that. Prisoners gassed in jail. I'm Ellen Murphy. I've been involved in the Whatcom Peace and Justice Center since it was a twinkle in our eye. I have never been in prison very long, you know, one day, one night, a few hours. Yeah. But I was in the Tonopah, Nevada jail for 8 days. We were gassed. Carbon monoxide came under this little opening in the wall because they had their patrol cars parked out there and they had the engines running. I don't know why, all night. Somehow I knew something was wrong, even though my mind had been affected. And they were all sleeping, the other three. And, I mean, I was literally crawling on the floor, talking to myself, saying, Ellen, you're not supposed to be crawling on the floor. You're not supposed, something's wrong. And finally, I somehow got the strength to pick up a metal wastebasket and bang it against the bars. And finally, someone noticed that their switchboard was affected. Her head was down on the desk. And then they realized something was really, really wrong. Hospital, and, you know, I was handcuffed to a gurney in the emergency room and given oxygen for quite a few hours. We might say there's a traditional civil disobedience. In fact, Martin Luther King suggests this in his writings, that we do start with regular channels of citizen participation and go through all of those, because we might get what we want. But if we don't, then we've built solidarity, we've built, you know, friendships, we've built information, we've researched everything, and maybe by then, after being turned down or ignored for a long enough time, or doesn't have to be that long, we are ready, perhaps, to take the next step and do civil disobedience.
All you have to do is shut things down, you know. When you start shutting things down, then you get government entities start moving. You might even get who knows, you might even get a senator or a congressperson moving on an issue. But until that happens, why would they listen to you? And you don't have to have a gun. They didn't need guns in the 60s and 70s, and that shut things down. They shut the Pentagon down in Washington, D.C. for a couple of days by just filling the streets.
No cuts in the state need grants.
No cuts in the state need grants.
Cancel student debt.
Cancel student debt.
No budget cuts to education or other public services. No cuts in university jobs, workers' pay, or benefits.